Hey there, it's Catherine from CatherinePooler.com. If this is your first video with me, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. A few weeks back, I did a collaboration with Christina Werner. We each made a background and then sent it to the other to finish off into a card. Our viewers loved this feature so much and asked for me and her to do it again, and so I decided to do that. I have asked Darlene from Darlene Designs to team up with me today. I've been a longtime fan of hers. So we're kind of doing it opposite. We each started a card, did the focal point and sentiment, and sent it off for the other to finish. So if you are coming from Darlene's channel, you already know what she made for me to finish off. And if you are starting with me, be sure to watch to the end of the video, then hop over to her channel to see how she made the fun little element that I have to share with you. And when this came in the mail, when I pulled it out, I giggled. These little elements are so much fun, and I can't wait to put them together in a card. So meet me at the stamp table, we'll get started. So Darlene sent me these darling little fortune cookies and sentiments. I've had a couple ideas running through my mind, and one was cutting out a tag with black, and I embossed it. And then I took the Illuminate pad by Stampin' Up! And just rubbed it across the top to give it some fun shimmer. And I was going to use this and put these together and just put it on a card. For some reason this wasn't floating my boat, so I decided to go a little bit different direction. This card is going to be really simple. We're using some patterned paper. I've had a lot of people requesting more patterned paper ideas lately, and there's a whole mini class on Stamp Nation now on how to use patterned paper. So I have cut a very vanilla card base, and then my first layer, and then a little bit smaller layer. Measurements will be on my blog, and another little piece which will come into play in a minute. But first I'm going to take these two. I want to sew these together. So this is kind of an awkward view, but I have my Hello Kitty sewing machine, and I want to sew these two together. I know you can't really see this, but sewing paper to paper is really easy. You're just going to run your stitch back and forth. When you're done, you get a fun stitched line like that. Super easy. If you don't want your threads hanging like this, you can pull them through the back. So just take the piece on the back and pull it, and you can see it starts pulling that front thread through, and you can pull it through the other side and then adhere them in the back. And then you won't have these funky threads just hanging around. So I'll just put a little bit of adhesive back here and just tack those down. This will get adhered right to the card front. The next part, we're going to pull in the big shot. I have a banner framelit crisp cantaloupe cardstock, which is the color of this designer series paper that I'm using, and then a heart framelit. We'll just line those up inside of each other and crank it through. Now we have this fun little banner with the heart window, and I'm going to add it to the front, but first I wanted to add a little bit of texture to this. I didn't want it to be too overwhelming. I wanted it to be really subtle, and I thought stripes would be awesome. I don't have any stripe stamps, but I do have a stripe embossing folder, so I'm just inking it up with my Versamark ink pad. Either side is going to work. The Versamark is only hitting the raised part. We're going to lay this down, close the embossing folder, and then if you rub, you're barely going to get enough pressure there to make a stamped image. So if you take your brayer and give a little bit of elbow grease there, you'll get some really subtle stripes. Now I do have a little bit of indentation in this paper now, and I have a little bit of the Versamark, so I have kind of texture and stamping at the same time, yet it's super subtle so it doesn't clash or interfere too much with the rest of what's going on in this card, because there's a lot of patterns going on. So I'll just take a few dimensionals. So this is a pretty basic layout right here, and I have been using a very similar layout recently on some of my blog projects and some of my class projects. It's really super cute and pretty clean and simple, but it lends itself to being dressed up, and I think that's one of the reasons I just love it. All right, I think a little bit of liquid glue is going to be a good choice here, and then see this piece that's going to be hanging off the banner, I don't want it to just be hanging there. I want it to be secured down so that it doesn't get smushed. So we'll add dimensionals and liquid glue. I think I have this is too long. Well, I hope I did this fortune cookie from Darlene justice. I think it's just adorable, and there are tons of ways I could have used it on this card. This is just one way I was thinking. Hope you learned a thing or two from this video, and if this is your first video, be sure to click the link below the video so you can go check out how Darlene did the fortune cookies, and in a couple days we'll have another card for you where I started the card and then sent it to Darlene, and she's going to finish it off. I cannot wait to see what she does. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you'd like to see more collaborations, this is so much fun. Sometimes a little stressful, but very fun. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.